Yes, Mzansi, we're back talking about furry, four-legged love angels, whatever you want to call them. And earlier we looked at how to find a legit breeder when wanting to bring home a new puppy. Yeah, but if you prefer to adopt and want to open your home and heart to a more senior dog to give them maybe a second chance in life, then we absolutely salute you. Thank you so much. Now, Carissa is joining us again to answer all our adoption questions. Now, earlier we obviously spoke about finding the right dog. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into that now. But the question maybe is, with so many dogs available, and I've done this before, you walk into that adoption agency and you see all these little like heartbreakers around you. How and what is the best process when you're in that situation to find that beautiful dog for yourself?
So the two main qualities for adopting a shelter dog that you want to look at are the socialization of the dog and its energy levels. So first, if you have other dogs and kids, which is, you may or may not, talk to the shelter staff or the adoption agency about that. Find out if the dog is happy with children, happy with other dogs. That will certainly narrow down your search. Then the second question to ask is, how busy is the dog? Which goes back to our earlier question of how busy are you? So you get a dog that's got the same energy level. And then from there, you have to go and see who you fall in love with, to be honest. And the hard part with shelter dogs, or not the hard part, but something to consider is that you don't always get a full sense of their personality straight away when they come home. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks for the, the dust to settle and them to sort of find themselves. So look at the age of the dog. If it's a very young dog, say 1 or 2 years old, it's going to have more energy than a dog that is, say, 5 or 6 years old. So it really depends on do you want a couch friend like Bear, who's an excellent couch friend? I mean, he still loves his walks. Or do you want a hiking buddy? And that can also help guide your decision. Okay,
and then, I mean, obviously, we're having an older dog. Maybe you get to the point of, okay, I found the animal that I love. I want to bring it home. How do you best prepare to transition them into that new space? How do you kind of just make it lekker for them?
Yeah, and this is really, really important because it's really important that first week or two is handled correctly. So if you're getting a dog who's been in a shelter, the way to introduce them to your home is actually quite gently. So what I mean by that is you don't want to bring him home from a shelter and immediately buy him 700 toys, put him in your bed, and feed him the best food that he's ever had. There's a tendency for people to want to like make up for the sad life a dog has had.
And just like throw it all at once, overwhelm the animal.
That is super stressful on the dog because the contrast is too quick. It's like going from being homeless to living in a mansion. It's a bit of a shock.
Quite overwhelming.
Yeah, so do it over a few days. Just let it sort of stay in one part of the house. And the most important thing when you get a shelter dog is from the beginning, make sure it spends a large part of the day alone. You shouldn't go from being in a shelter to having company 24 hours a day because that can actually create separation anxiety. So several hours a day, the dog should either be in the backyard or in a room by itself, just as it actually acclimatizes to the house, and then they can enjoy and just be a happy part of the family.
All right. Well, Karis, maybe I can answer you, or ask you this question. You're the specialist, and I think Mzansi is obviously, I'm sure after seeing this, dying to get their new little love ball of fur, whatever you want to call them. What would your suggestion be? Do you advise on adopting or shopping? And why?
Yeah, so if you're not sure what to do, adopt a dog. I mean, there are so many beautiful, wonderful, fabulous dogs to do it. That being said, there are people who will choose a purebred dog. That's never going to go away. So what we want to do is if you do opt for a purebred dog, you want to support the right kind of breeders. So don't buy cheap purebred dogs because then you are supporting that industry. Yeah. Okay,
I absolutely love it. I think the rest of Mzansi, especially myself, I may be dying for another one after this conversation, but I can't thank you enough. And of course, opening your home to a new dog is the biggest joy in this world. And whether your pup comes from a shelter or a breeder, it doesn't matter, as long as you look after them and love them with a full heart. Now, to keep them safe inside and out against parasites, you can also shop Next Guard Spectra on petheaven.co.za. Now, this is a full spectrum monthly chew that'll keep your puppies and senior dogs fully protected all year round and as happy as this one over here. Hey, aren't you? Aren't you happy, boy?
Yeah. Hey, say yes. There. What do you do?